Hey guys, Dilmohit Singh is here and with the book review that's name is Art of War by Sun Tzu, and this book is written in 5th century BC. It's just like 400 years after Jesus, but it's all about the wars and all. Why? The name is saying the Art of War. So this is all about war. But if we take it in today's perspective, and you're gonna think like, what's the war today? Everything is a war if you see about this. And this is one of the book that US Army said the best mandatory to read before coming into army. So if you want to stay in the army, you want to go in the army, and you don't know about this book, you might not get selected. Might be, there's a chance. I heard about it, so I'm not sure about that. And also this is book about how can use your mindset as everything for the art of war and become the best and conquer your every single day as the best day of your life. And if you want to go more about it, if I'm seeing over here, that means that's my notes my notes are over there. So please, that's my first, like, second video after introduction, so I don't know how to do that, and that's my first YouTube video, so I'm sorry first if there's anything you don't like it, but that's my first video. So let's start. The tip number one is everything is a war. How? Okay, you want to generate a new habit. How are you gonna do it? The first day you're gonna think about, okay, how about we do it tomorrow? That's a war. That's a war between your conscious and subconscious minds. What it is, okay, in personal development, it's called as there's three mind: subconscious, conscious, and non-conscious. I don't know much about non-conscious, but subconscious is the one which control everything, your belief, your values, and everything, because that's been it recorded for the first 7 years of your life. So if you want to generate a new habit, you have your conscious mind is a 5% and subconscious mind is a 95% that will fight with each other to make that work or not. And if you're procrastinating, that means that the subconscious mind is getting heavy on your conscious mind. So that's how you're not generating your habit that you want. And that's why everything is a war. If you want to generate a new habit, that's a war. If you want to get a raise from your job, that's a war. If you want to go to compete something, that's a war. How? That's your challenger in front of you, and that's your opponent in front of you. So everything is a war. Take that mindset and you can do a lot better. How? Then once you have a war, once you have decided that you're gonna go for a war, what are you gonna do? You're gonna think about what are the things I have, how I can win this war, what are the things we needed, what are the arsenals we needed, what are the weapons we needed, how I can approach that. Everything comes up. So in this way you have more tactical and logical thinking to achieve your position or to achieve your goal and everything. And here's that, and you have to ask everything about your question. If that thing would be in a war, what should I do? That's the only question I'm asking. Okay, so how about, like, okay, so if I want to get a raise, how about you're going and saying like, okay, if that thing comes in a war that I have to get more, how I'm gonna approach it? For example, like that, simple. And for me, I have a war with social media right now because it's the 1st of January 2020 and I started a YouTube channel just because starting a war between my mind that yes, I can do social media, I can do the YouTube. So here I am, and I'm still fighting with my mind that how I'm going to do it, but I have a tactical, logical pathway that I'm going to follow to get my channel more views, everything in all. Like, I want to grow it. So that's how. The second lesson is the importance of winning quickly. Why is that? That's whole topic, according to me, it's on procrastination. Why? There's some things that you're like pretty scared about. Should I do that? Should I do that or not? Like right now I'm scared of making a video. I don't know why, but yeah, this is because maybe it's my first and you're watching me, so that's why. But it's all topic. Okay, let's take a break. So here, so what is that? So everything is procrastination. And if you're thinking about procrastination, that you're also thinking, or you have to think about what are the things that you're consistently worried about and you're not taking step on it because you're feared about it. That's kind of haunting for you or daunting for you, anything. And think about how you can do that simply in a quick. You just need one simple step against your fear to cover that up, and once it's free, you're out of the haunting area and you're ready to approach to the next level. And that's how you can win your war, because the things you're procrastinating, once you take a step on it, okay, that thing is gone, the next level is short. Why? Because that's the only thing, the procrastination was holding you back for a long time for what to do and all. That's one of the point. That so for that, one of the question is, so there's the one thing you can ask: what are the things that are blocking you for a long time that you should have done till now? What are the things what are the things that is blocking you that you should have done till now? That's one of the questions you can ask from me. I also ask this question every night, that what are the things, when I'm writing my journal, what are the things that I should have done today, and I shouldn't be procrastinated on that, and that should be for less time. That's like reading my audio or listening my audiobook, having my next course, and also writing something about that, everything. So I write it down, a to-do list, and I was like, this thing should be done. If I didn't do it, that's a procrastination. So I have to do it before sleep. As Tony Robbins said, I'm not going to sleep if I'm tired. I'm going to sleep when I'm done. Simple. That's the same thing. The one thing I've been learned for the whole last year in personal development is, if you're procrastinating, nothing's gonna be done. But if you're thinking about it, you come out of the procrastination and do it, you will have a better sleep, and you're not definitely gonna go in stress, because you're not taking anything in your mind and then sleeping, and you was thinking continue about that in the morning, you wake up stressed. So that's how. And the third tip, number 3, know thyself and know about your energy. So this is knowing about you, and knowing about you how that you have to know about yourself. What are your energy? Where's your energy going? What are you good at? What are you bad at? What are the things that holding you back? What are the things that you're great at? So you have to work on that every single day. So how are you gonna go to the next level? As Alexander, he didn't even like conquer half of the world just because he was great. The one thing is, he has a mentor, that is Aristotle, that is one of the best people on the earth that walked through. So he knows one thing, that he has to be good at everything, like he has to be best at what he can do. And he goes every single day. With every single day, in the age of 32, he conquered the half of the world. And if he would have lived more, he might do the whole world. I don't know, but yeah, might be. So these all the things must know. This book is not about the war. This is about the war in your mind and with your body. Why I'm saying that, every time you have a 60,000 thoughts in a day. Every person has. I'm having, you're having. But with these 60,000 thoughts, it's continual battle in between, and you have a choice on what decision you make. Fine. So you're fighting between all of them, and you're deciding it. So if you know yourself, you can take better decision for you. That's how I say this book it is. And if we go, sorry. Alright. So for example, in this one, for example, like in the tip number 3, there's an example of the question, that is, so if you know yourself, for example, if you know yourself, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses and everything, and if you go in an interview and you know that what are there, also it's not about you, it's also about where you're going, what are their strengths and weaknesses and everything. So for example, in an interview you're going, and if you should know what are their weaknesses, you're already one level ahead of them, and you have better chance to get a job or anything, any kind of interview you win, right? So, and then the tip number 4, it's the rule of endless possibilities. So in the book it said there's 2 different ways you can fight a war: direct and indirect. What is that, direct and indirect? Indirect, like direct is just go and straight and get your swords and all and war, or just go to somebody if you don't like it and just start an argument with them. But in indirect, it's just like talking in their backs or something like that, if you like that thing I said it. But it's all about direct and indirect is just, it means. So in the direct and indirect, there's a lots of things. There's strategies come, there's techniques come, there's weapons come, there's environment comes, there's maneuvers come, a lots of things comes. So anywhere you go, and if you want to conquer anything, any mind of mindset, so if you know, as Tony Robbins also once said, change your approach. Why he said, maybe he read the book or not, I don't know, but as Tony Robbins said, change your approach. Never stop until you get your result, but don't stick on one thing that doesn't work. So in this book they said there's a direct and indirect way of war, but the possibilities are infinite. Why he said? Because definitely when you're going to use the direct approach and use strategies and weapons and everything, you have different result. When you use indirect, they have a different result, and there's a lots of result by mixing them all up, right? So in the same way, if something you tried that doesn't work, change your approach, change your weapon, or change your strategy, change your maneuvers, anything. Just change something so you can see if the result is coming. If didn't, change it again, change it. If you're so intrigued, if you're so much wanted to get the result you wanted, then you have to continue changing every time until you reach there. That's the tip number 3. That's the tip number 4. And also there is a lots of things like in that. So there's one thing you can ask about, what is the thing I'm doing that is not been working that I'm doing, and what should I change in that? A little change I can put in that might change my results, maybe a little bit or maybe a lot, but think about it. Question, what are the thing you've been done that you didn't like the result, and a little thing you can change in there that gives you different result. Okay, so tip number 5, that's I like it because that's like defend the strong and attack the weak. This is all about yourself and your enemy, or being you and the whole world, whatever you want to do, man. It's like you and your mind. So if you know, so that is defend the strong. If you know what you're strong at, defend it. If you know what you're strong at, defend it. If you know what you're weak at, strengthen it. Why? Because you don't want anybody to attack your weak spot, because once they're there, you're done. So you have to get better. As Tai Lopez said in one of his courses, that if you're bad at something, if you have a hole in your armor, people are gonna hit over there. Why? Because they're gonna die there quickly. That's the thing. And if you know that you're weak, if your enemy is strong at something, avoid that point. But if your enemy is weak at something, attack there right away with anything you got, or with a tactical anything you want to think about how you're going to do it. So these are the things. So you have to think about it. In there you can have a question, what are my best strengths? What are the things I'm great at that I can leverage the power to do anything? And the second question is, what the things that I'm being like getting back? Is there emotions? Is there anything with the mind, or is there anything that been conjuring you? Like with me, I'm just like, I don't want to stay in my room much, but I stay. So that's my weakness. I'm telling you in front of it, but I'm using the YouTube to just change that weakness from making a video, so I'm not feeling that. So if you can do this. And also there is the tip number 6. What is the tip number 6? Is the leadership traps. So there's the thing, if you're a leader, that's one of my best, because if you're a leader, you should know that what are the traps you can come in. That trap says recklessness, that if you're being if you're like overconfident, right? You'd say like everything is fine, we're gonna do it all, and all of these things. But these things definitely affect, because if you're being overconfident, your team's gonna get neglected, and you might lose the whole war, or you might lose the whole competition, and your competition get the best because they are not overconfident, and they're confident about what they do. Second thing is cowardice. If you're like being too careful, you'll get caught. That's what is written in book, because if you're coward, you'll be more careful, and definitely you're gonna get caught. You will think about every single step in so much detail that you don't know that the whole world, like everybody started attacking on you, and you're thinking about the next step that you've been thinking about for a long time. You got it? So also the third thing is that quick temper. What is this? There are some people, they just react suddenly and they don't know what they're doing. How they reacted in a way that like, what did you do that? Why you said that me and all of that? They suddenly like get hyper. They might be like, or they might be narcissists and all, but I'm not saying that only narcissistic people. It's just normal that those who just lose their temper, that's the first one that they can't hold the whole team. Why? Because they can't bear their temper and they get angry at each other. Maybe somebody made a fun and they get angry. So these all things definitely make a reason. The fourth part of this one is honor. So those who are so much thinking about their honor, they was being sensitive to shame. So in the book, it's like sensitive to shame or avoid the ego. So honor comes in two different ways: sensitive to shame and avoid the ego. Those who are sensitive to shame, they definitely don't want any shame, so they don't do anything that's gonna give you result. They always think about how I can win, but I don't want to lose because people's gonna laugh at me and all of them. And avoid the ego. Ego is a one good thing and bad thing. If ego is taking you to grow more and being helpful and everything, I believe ego is good. But if ego is turning you into overconfidence and all, that's really bad. So these things definitely affect. And also after that, over concern of the man. If you're a leader and you're over concern of the people, that what's gonna happen? Is he gonna do that? That means you don't have a faith in there. And if you don't have a faith in there, you might gonna lose the whole war, because you don't believe them. And if you don't believe them, your people not gonna believe you. So like, think about in a family, if the oldest one doesn't believe in any single of like the younger one or their kids and all, they're not gonna believe their father, that believe the oldest one. So what gonna happen? The oldest one gonna neglect all the youngest one, and the youngest one gonna neglect that one. So there's a lot of huge difference come between them, and that never get fulfilled, and that's how they lose the war. That's how they lose the war. So over here you can ask questions that what so make it like in this way. Make like, write down recklessness, sorry, in this you can write about make a column right here: recklessness as 1, cowardice as 1, short temper as 3, honor as 4, and overconfident or overconcern of men as 5. So over here, and write like 1 to 5 in front of all of them, and circle it down. Think about yourself: am I good? And how much I'm reckless? I know you're gonna write as like 0, but I'm not putting 0, because in every part everybody is reckless at some point. So think about it. Are you reckless? How much you are? From 1 to 5. These all things matter, because if you don't know about yourself, you're not gonna win the war, because you don't know what are your weakness. And if you don't know your weakness, people gonna attack you. That might be your friend, family, anything. I'm not saying about family and all this. These things are like, don't take any relation serious for me. I don't care about that. But yeah, if you're gonna friends, family, or people in a business or anywhere you're going outside, people gonna stab on where you're weak. Make it remember, because I've been stabbed like once or twice, and that's pretty bad, like, because they just attacked my weakness of being good. So that's why I did this one, and that's really like one of the worst things I did. Like, and the worst, like, when I write it, I gotta know that I'm just like being in all of these, so what should I do next? Okay, so you have to write this down, because this is one of the thing I'm using it, and I want you to help yourself. And yeah, I'm a teacher, so I will help you to make you more better. So the next thing, the tip number 7, that is faith and iron. What is a faith and iron? It's just like, as your leader, you should have a faith in you and in your team. If you don't have a faith in your team, go get to the next team. Find the person you can trust on, you have full faith on them, and then go the next. For example, I take this example as Jesus. Jesus has 13 apprentice, right? I think that's because I'm not knowing about more about Christian. I'm just like watched a couple of series on Netflix. So he has 13 apprentice and he trusts all of them. He trusts all of them and he died for us. They said he died, Jesus died for all of us sins and all. And then he leave his 13 apprentice behind. The 13th one who get up first, he just hanged himself. So he didn't do much in a way, but the leaving the 12 apprentice, they went to the whole world. And now, if you know, the whole world is Christian. There's a lot of Christians around the whole world. Why? Because these 12 apprentices went to the whole world. Jesus has a faith on them that they after him they're gonna spread the Jesus words in the whole world, in the name of Bible, in the name of his name, as the power of, as the Jesus Christ, the Christ who hung himself for the people's sin. So that's the power of faith. And if you don't have a faith, you can't win the war. You don't have a faith, you can't go anywhere. You don't have a faith, you can't complete a single task, because you will be more talking about, did you do that, did you do that, okay, hey, I want you to do this, but now, okay, no, you need to do it now. So these all things matter, because if you're not having a faith on the people's skills, if you don't have a faith on people's knowledge, and if they don't have a faith in you, the relationship's not going to work with you. And in the meantime, you don't know what to do, and you might lose a lot of things. So here is the thing. And yeah, another thing, like the author says that it's okay to be firm at some point with them. What I'm saying, because like everyone, like if you're a parent, you know that with the children you always talk with them and all of that, you love them, but there's sometime you have to be firm with them, so they knows that they shouldn't be doing that, or they shouldn't be good. In the same time, in the leadership, if you are in the leadership, if you are great with everybody, some people try to take your advantage, some people try to do like less. So you have to be firm also in sometimes, so they should know that they have to do their work. It's not like they have a faith, like you have a faith on them. That's not gonna work until you have to work too. Got it? So that was the tip number 7. So make a list. So this is question, make a list and think about, what are the people around me? Do I have a faith in them? When I talk with them, do they help me? How long, like in a way? So think about it, brainstorm your mind. This channel will be more about brainstorming. This channel will be more about thinking around yourself to take it out. Think what's going in your mind, take it out, write it down, and then go it down, or maybe journal it out. Everything what's going in your mind is one of the best things, because if you write 100 questions in a day, that's just like 100 out of 60,000 questions comes around every single time. So you have to think about it. So this is the next part, and the next part is tip number 8. Tip number 8, where's the 8? Okay, so next is tip number 8, that is know your terrain. What I'm saying, so know your terrain. Where are you? Are you in which battlefield are you? Are you on a mountain? Are you on Mount Everest? Or are you in a plateau? Are you in a valley? Or are you in a desert? Or are you in in the other way? Or are you in a desert? Or are you in just normal ground? Or are you near the sea? Or are you near the river? So what are the tactical advantage you have in the whole environment? What's the weather? What's the tactical advantage you can get? How you can hide and attack more, and all of that. So this is one of the things that if you don't know, like for example, you're working in a place, know about the place as the owner knows. What I say, know about the place, know about the environment, know about the people, how they're thinking, the way how they're gonna think, build a report in front of with them. So anything happen, you know how to take that environment, you know how to take that area to be in your side to attack other. I'm not saying to hit other or manipulate or something to be bad with others. I'm just saying how you can, if you know the whole thing, you know the whole process, how it's working, you have more tactical advantage as the person who's not having that. How? I'm thinking you're asking how. So here's the thing. If I'm asking like how, for me, I'm working in a childcare. So what I did in the first 5 minutes of my placement is I just observe everything. How are the people, how are the families, how are the children, how the work is going on, where the flow goes, and every single things, what are the things happen, who do this, who do all the chores, who do all of these, who do administration, and how the owners are and everything. I got like 50% idea how the childcare center works. You got it? That's how it is. Like I know how to, like I know them, I know the people, and how I can talk to them in a better way, so it will be better for both of us. That's how I do. And so now, so the tip number 9, how to use your weapon. You might be thinking like, what weapon? I knew like the Sun Tzu. Yeah, sorry. So the author said that, he said about the 5th century, that you need your swords, fire, your shield, and your armor and everything. How you need that, how you can use that. But over here in this tactical advantage, know your weapon. Your mind is your weapon. Your energy is a weapon. Your knowledge is a weapon. Your any skill is a weapon. Your friends are a weapon. Your family is a weapon. I'm not saying like they can hurt anybody or all of that, but think about it. Your skill can get you anywhere you want it, right? If you have a great skill, you can get on your feet and go again. Your friends, they have skills that you can rely on, and they also know the people that you can get help from. You got the weapon. Your mind is the most complicated thing that nobody knows, only you. So how you can use your mind. Your family, the same thing. Like even my dad, there was a time I had to struggle to find a basement, all that. My dad just called a couple of people in Canada where I was living in Ontario, and I got my space. So that's how the family helps. Also, family is also called as weapon in the art of war. According to art of war, if we metaphor all of these, everything is a weapon. So think about it. Make a question. What are my weapons? For example, when you go in a, so if you start like for example, if you, here you go, PUBG, PUBG, or Fortnite. So what we do, get down, so you don't have anything, and then you meet everybody and all of that, but you get the weapons and all. So when you check your armor, when you check your bag, what things you have, that's how you know your weapon. So in this point, in this video, you have to write a question. What are my weapons and how great are they? What things they can do? These 3 questions. What are my weapons? Make a list of weapons. And then how great they are, what can they do? Why? Because if you know you have weapons, and you have to eligible them, that they can help you, how they can help you. For example, I have like friends that working in WFG, that World Financial Grow. So if I need somebody who needs help, or if I need any financial help or something for financial advisor, I can just call them and say, hi, actually I need to help in this one, and they can help me. Why? Because I also join with them. So these are the things. You should know what weapons you have. You should know what people are you connecting, how you're going, and everything. So these are the things that literally help you with everything. If you know how you're going, if you know everything, if you think about a war, if you know how to choose your weapon, if you know what's the terrain is, what's the environment is, if you know like are you a good leader, how you can help your leadership, if you know that being a spy, like how can you get or there's the 10th one is being a spy. So how can you get for that one? So here's the thing. So these all things are literally can change if you started acting that. You need a mindset. Your mind's gonna say no, but you have to do if you want to do. Or think about that. Just write these questions. That's the first task. If you do it, you'll get a momentum, and you understand that you have abundance of things around you that you really don't figure it out. Why? Because your mind never tells us about that. You have literally a lot of things you can do, but you're just stuck in this part. I know, I was too. So that's why you have to go out of yourself and start looking around at what are there. So the 10th part, which one? That being a spy. So here's the thing. So being a spy, They said knowledge is a power. We all know that, but less people know how to use that. I don't know who said that, but yeah, I didn't read it properly. I just tried it. That knowledge is power. Everybody says that, but nobody knows how to use that. And in there, there's also one thing they said. For example, in there, being a spy is, they used to say that spy, like espionage is a spy or something like that. And they said, for example, our mind is a sponge. Put in the water, dip it in, and squeeze it, and you have a water. So our mind can soak everything, but we are being average of the 5 people we hang around. So what are those 5 people? If you hang around with like people who don't like these things, your mind's gonna say, okay, I don't like these two. But if you hang with those people who said, I like book reading, or I like fiction books, non-fiction books, and all of that, and 5 people of those, you might gonna read the books, you might gonna start reading the books and all of that. If you're entrepreneur, and if you're really entrepreneur, and you're not gonna hang with those people who are saying like, I don't like entrepreneur and all of that, because you need an environment where you feel comfortable. And also, being a spy means you have abundance of knowledge in you. You gather from a lots of people, and you have to save it, because a spy don't have a job of getting the information. Its main job is getting the information and keep it safe until they have to use it. Got it? So in the same time, if you're going to use this knowledge, how are you going to use it? Here, gather everything, knowledge in that, and use it in a way that's going to be benefit from you, and nobody's going to steal it from you. Because you have to protect that knowledge, because that knowledge is also comes with the people who want to steal it. Maybe people are going to steal your knowledge, but they're going to steal your knowledge with energy, and that energy, you need to use that knowledge to do something. So if you want to do something, if you want to use knowledge and use your energy to create that knowledge into something, an idea, to bring it to life, and before that somebody comes in and get that knowledge, and with your energy, how are you going to do that? So these all things really matter. I don't know, this is my first video, so how I did, I'm just going to watch it right now. It's like the total continue, and it's just going to go with one edit. And over here, so with that, the last question, I don't want to make it any, so that's chapter, that's like an assignment for you. So what are the things, what are the knowledge you have, and think about how people use those knowledge from you, and after that you got tired of like thinking about that thing and you leave that. That's question for you. So these all are the questions that you need to do. So we'll go through again as a revise section, that art of war. The tip 1 was everything is a war. And when everything is a war, you have to think about the importance of winning quickly. Tip 2. And the tip 3 is, if you know yourself and you know your enemy, how are you going to use your tactical advantage to take their weakness? So with that, the rule of endless possibility. How you can use different approaches to get what you want. Tip number 5, defend the strong, attack the weak. And what's that? Don't do it in a like real way that defend the strong one and attack the weak. It's all about defend the strong you and attack the weak opponent. Might be on something in the company, they're weak from something, attack that part so you can get so you can get hired quickly. So these all things are. And tip number 6, leadership traps. You have to get avoid of that. When I said you write down all the things, all the 5 things, that recklessness and all, and write it down and think about it, why you been that, how you can change that, what are the first step you can take to change that. So these are all the questions you need to do. So what I'm saying, it's all about, if you really want to be in this channel, if you want to get more videos from me, or you want to learn about more, the one thing I said, practice. More repetition. Tony Robbins said the more repetition is the one to create a habit. And I have a couple of habits that I started by repeating every single day the same time at the same things over and over to get the habit of that. Book reading is 1, writing my journal is 2nd. So that's how I do it. So if you have to do these, if you have to be stuck in the channel, you want to learn more, you can think about these questions and you can change your life in a little bit way. Every single day, think about something that you can be great on. Think about something. Next day, if it's my last, what the best thing I should do? So these are the things. Like and also the tip 7 is faith and iron. If you don't have a faith on your army, or if you don't have a faith on your team, how are you gonna win? So you have to be faith on them, you have to help them. In the meantime, they should be helping you, otherwise you have to be firm with them. And know your terrain, know your tactical advantage, where you are, weather and everything, the environment, the way of saying, the tonality of the other person, how you can use that to change it. And also how to use your weapons. That's the most important, because for example, if you are going to win a battle among 1,000 people and you have 100, you can win if they have a weapon and a courage. But if there's 1,000 people of you and there's 10 ninjas in front of you, how are you going to use that? The whole environment is changed. How are you going to do that? You have to choose your weapon wisely. So that's how. And this tip number 10 is being a spy. Get a knowledge, use it, consume it, think about it, try to manifest it, and take your energy to manifest that, rather than giving it to people and with your energy and you're not doing anything. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to do anything. So these are the things I want you to do. So think about it, let me know next time, or you can put in the comments how the video is, and make a just like the video, share it, and subscribe it. Which side? I don't know. I think this side. Yeah, subscribe it, and see you next time. Peace.